Welcome everybody, Steve here. Well, time to do a little sanding on these doors. Get them ready to prep them up for paint. Now I'm doing them outside. It's cold outside today. I know that, but that's okay because I don't want to mess up my the inside of my garage. And if I'm using my little sander, makes a heck of a mess. So I'm gonna do it outside. And I figure once the sun starts coming around, it's going to warm up. Hope so. Anyway, I'm just going to use the palm sander on the inside. I might stroke this with a block, you know, just to make sure it's okay, nice and straight after I get it sanded. But for the most part, we're using an electric sander on the inside. We'll block the outside. Okay, got to get geared up here. Insides are always the pain, but you know, if you can just turn your mind off and think happy thoughts, happier, you just get her done. Hopefully the outside's going to go good. Stroke them with a little 220 first, and then I'll finish them with some 320. Sun's coming out. Feels really good. A little bright in the eyes though. Well, the 220 went really well. It only goes well if there's no issues, and I didn't find any issues, which is a good thing, because I don't want any issues. So the 320, the 220 really does a nice job of straightening everything out, and then your 320 is basically just that polish, get rid of all those sand scratches. And it doesn't take too long at all. Kind of nice working outside, you know? The sun's beating down, it's nice and warm. Now, it took a little while to get warm. of course, there's always a pinhole. Just on the inside. The outside, we got that. It's looking really, really good. Well, the day wouldn't be complete if I wasn't doing any caulking on this job. So let's get her done. It's only going to take one coat, I think, and that'll be suffice for this. I'll go up the back side here. It's always good to, you know, seal this up because you can get some rust starting in here. It gets chipped. I'm not going to do up here where the window is, or you know, near the top. Just don't think we need to do that. Just put a little tiny bead down. Don't need much. Falling very good today. See how that works. And any of this residual, I will clean that up tomorrow. It sets up a little bit. Next morning, everything's dry, so it's just time to clean up the edges here, where we did all of our seam sealing. Really easy to do. Just a little thinner on a rag. Check to make sure you got everything all sealed up nice. Got the doors hung. And then over here, got the hinges. So now just a little bit of cleanup. Wipe down the doors. That's going to be the next step. And we're ready for some sealer. Just using a mild degreaser here. I'll clean it all up a little bit. You know, hanging these doors, they're always a bit of a challenge. But, you know, I got some hooks in the ceiling. And tell you what, it's amazing what you can hang. But I got it figured out. Let's work it out. And then we've got a lot of hooks that I've built over the years. When I did these, when I did the priming, I just had them hung by one, and that's fine too, but then they start moving all over on you. So that's why it's so nice to have, you know, 2 points when you're hanging something. Now some wax and grease. Just mixing up the epoxy primer. Now I've got gray and I got black. If you've been following me, you know that I mix her up 2 parts gray to 1 part black. Just get a little darker gray. I think the red likes it a lot more. And this is just 4 to 1. I have to mix up some more. Not today, we'll have enough. I thin her down, probably 25% at least. You see how the consistency is when we get her all said and done here. You get pretty used to mixing it when you've done it for so long. Really mix your paints well. Put a lot of time in. Last thing you want is something to go wrong now. Just a little thinner. That's getting better. next morning, and I'm just giving the epoxy primer, which I use for a sealer, just a real light sand, and I'm using some, this is 1200 grit. Yeah, I think I used 1000 last time. It's just whatever I had, you know, left. And just really light, and it's nice because if you have any dust, you can sand it out, give yourself a really good base to throw your paint on. Especially in an environment that I have, where I'm just in a garage in the, you know, on an acreage, and you know, there's a lot of dust. Yesterday was really windy. I don't have a $250,000 spray booth, so you know, you got to do these little tricks to kind of give yourself the best chance for success. And why wouldn't you? You know, I know it takes an extra step, but you only paint your truck once. I'm good. Got a couple pieces of dust, not too much. So, pretty happy the way things turned out, the way it was yesterday. And then we'll clean this again. I'll probably use I don't know if I'm going to go with the waxy grease. I'm going to try the just the degreaser, you know, a real mild solution. Going to give that a try this time. I find it grabs the dust a little better. Here, a little piece right there, a little bit of dust. Gone. Just using the stuff I actually use, I get from Home Depot, or you can get it anywhere. It's that Zep 505. I really, really like that as a cleaner. Of course, I'm not sponsored or anything like that. But it does a nice job of cleaning the dust, getting it all nice and perfect. I think it does a little nicer job than than if you were to go straight to wax and grease. And then after this, you could hit it with some wax and grease, of course. You can see, well, once it starts drying, it really cleans it nice. I like it. I'm using the Automotive Art. This is the Motocryl, and it's 2-to-1, 2 parts paint to 1 part hardener. Using a normal hardener. And then I thin it a little bit more. I thin it about 10%. Yeah, this is, it really turned out nice. And I didn't get any dust down here. There's just the odd little guy. So I'm pretty happy to give this a buff anyway. And no, it's looking good. But we got one more thing to do. We got to do some undercoating on the inside. So we'll do that next. Just want to show you here. That's where we seam sealed it. You can't even tell. Turned out really, really good. So make sure you follow Steve O.J. when he's seam sealing. Just taping things up here a little bit. Last thing I want to do is clean up a bunch of overspray. And then where the drain holes are on the bottom, I'll make sure I put a piece of tape on those as well. I'm not too concerned if I get a little bit on these, but I don't want to just have to start cleaning again. Now, one of the first things I did was I came in yesterday. I didn't have my camera, but I sprayed a little bit of rust protection on there. I used the rust mort just to, you know, if there's any surface rust, and there is, give it a little shot, and then you can go ahead and undercoat. Well, the doors are done. Next thing we gotta do, hang them. But gotta wait for the truck to come back from getting the windshield put in. And as soon as that's done, we can hang the doors. And then we'll probably move on to, I don't know, the box. Not sure what's gonna happen next. Maybe some fenders. Inner fenders for sure. That's gonna be next on the list because, you know, when you're putting together a truck, you need those. You need your rad support. So I'll probably end up doing those next, but you never know. If little brother's not ready for that stuff, might just bring in the box, start sanding and painting on it. So that'll do for this episode. Stay tuned. There's a long ways to go on this project. Thanks for watching.